seated meditation, so where you're at, it's perfectly fine. It's just best in Shavasana 2. You're welcome to find meditation, your breathing to your practice today. So just taking your time, coming into your seat. And before you start to control the breath or insert too much effort in that direction, just notice what you're bringing into the space. Feel what it is. Just mindfully noticing everything that's present within yourself. Allowing your morning and afternoon to begin to soften, dissolve as you wake up to this moment. Your belly be soft, let your shoulder blades relax, and feel that slight lift of the heart space. Noticing if you might be breathing a little shallow in the chest and knees, see if you can just relax the chest a little bit. Start to feel the breath down into the belly. And just feel that direction of that expansion of the belly, the lower diaphragm. And just naturally letting that capacity of breath release. And just take a few cycles, letting your breath happen. Noticing that breath is just happening without your control, without your effort. Feeling that support of life here on your side, giving you prana, giving you energy in this experience. And then keeping the belly nice and relaxed. When you're ready, start to insert some effort and some control of the breath. Starting to control the rhythm of breath that's going to suit your practice today. So finding that equal fluctuation of your inhales and exhales, cultivating your unique samadhi, so the even fluctuation, finding that unique cadence that suits how you're feeling. Just taking a few cycles, breathing through the nose, cultivating that rhythm breath, and then finding the ujjayi pranayama, so cultivating your constrictions in the back of the throat, moving the breath through that constriction, and using this to harness your focus a little bit deeper. Taking your attention away from the material world, away from the external, and just awakening this inner space experience. Feeling that direction little by little, cultivating the meditation, the focus, finding that resonance for your practice. Just like that. And simply, let's just go ahead and take our hands down to the knees and just find a sense of grounding here. Resting here in your seat, continuing the rhythm of breath that you've cultivated for yourself. And then real simply, we're just going to start with a gentle cat-cow variation. Start to pull your heart forward, draw your shoulder blades back. On the exhale, tuck your chin, draw your ribs in, and start to round the spine, tucking the tailbone, lifting up through the pubic bone. Following your inhale, drawing the heart forward, shoulder blades lift back. On the exhale, tucking the chin, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone. And then just moving through that a few times, slowly starting to wake the spine. Moving at the pace of each inhale and exhale. And then cultivating a little Sufi circle. So on your next inhale, pull your heart forward. On the exhale, start to explore the outer range of motion, shifting to the hips to the right side, clockwise, circling around the hip joint. Inhale, draws your heart forward. You can keep your chin parallel to the floor, using your hips as a focal point from that center. Exhaling, moving that outer range of motion, cultivating some fluidity in the spine, in the hips. Let each inhale really wake up that openness in the chest. Exhale, round the back body as you circle back. And as you come forward on your next inhale, we're going to prepare to switch directions. On the exhale, Switching counterclockwise around the spine. Moving through, feeling that direction, and the pace of your inhales and exhales guide you into your movement. Couple more breaths in circles. And taking one more as you are. And coming back into your meditation, coming back to your seat. And just observing, feeling and noticing what's being circulated within yourself. Noticing how your focus becomes affected through your movement, and how the breath rhythm is affected through sensation. So practicing breathing your sensations, breathing your experience in the most harmonious, non-reactive way, grounding into your center. Continuously drawing your attention towards the breath and just meeting what is here. So as we meet our practice and we continue to add on to the asanas from this place, just continually check back into this place of centering, the resonance of your meditation, feeling this focus to the inner space, the surrender to what is, and the effort of action. So balancing the surrender, the letting go, the allowance, with the action, the inner warrior, the inner changer, the effort, the fire. Take one more mindful breath into that grounding, into that focus, into that intention. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and make our way down into child's pose. So helping yourself down. You can go ahead and bring your knees together if you want to drop into the low back and the mid back a little bit more. And then opening up the knees wide if you feel like you want to get into the hips a little bit. And as you drop in, noticing what happens to your focus. Continually pulling in that concentration, the dharana. Using this limb of yoga to enhance your practice, to enhance your asanas and the inner experience. Let's go ahead and come up to the fingertips, start to lengthen out the spine, sending the tailbone back towards the heels. Gentle press into the hands, the fingertips to help you grow that tailbone back. And then simply just go ahead and crawl the hands over to the left side, lengthening out that right side body. Growing out, moving through your inhales into extension and lengthening. Let your exhales be about just relaxing, releasing tension. Taking a couple breaths into that direction and reaching the crown out long, the tailbone slowly grows back towards the heels. On your next inhale, switching, crawling the hands across the center to the right side. Reaching up through that left side, melting the heart down. And then just meeting the tension in the most graceful way possible. So never going past the point where you feel that quality of breath compromised. Just going centered, honoring what suits the comfort and the quality of your breath. And each time you feel the effort or the ability to approach sensation with the honoring of the breath, you can move into that direction of sensations or tension, approaching tension. As you feel the breath affected or compromised, disconnected in any sense, then always consider making these poses easier for yourself so you can stay focused on that meditation, the resonance of your center, your stillness. So go ahead and crawl those hands back towards the middle. Take a breath there, soften your heart towards the floor. And then real simply from there, we're just going to roll up into a table. So go ahead and round your back. Roll yourself forward. On the exhale, go ahead and let your heart drop down in between the hands, setting up a cobra. Go ahead and pull your heart through, energetically dragging your hands back, elbows into the ribs, lift up through the heart. Exhale, slide your forearms forward, coming right into Sphinx. Lifting up through the top of the head, immediately soften the shoulders. Feel that subtle grounding through the pubic bone or the hips to help you lift the heart. Keep expanding into that lower diaphragm, soft shoulders. Feeling that direction of rising through the top of the head. If your spine's feeling okay, nice and warm, you're welcome to straighten out the arms and then immediately soften the shoulders down and back. Lift up through the heart, exhale, slowly come back down. Slide the hands next to the chest, bring your knees together, push your back child's pose. Tuck the chin and roll it all the way back into your child's pose. And then on your inhale, you're just going to roll right back forward. So round your back,
Come forward and then let your hips come down next to the wrists. Let your heart come down right into your cobra. Inhale, lift through the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin around the spine, extend all the way back into jump pose. This time, go ahead and curl your toes. Press yourself back into your heels. Finding a little sway left and right. Slowly just continue to awaken into that inner experience. So peeling away from stimulation, away from the external material, and coming towards the prana, towards the energy, the energetic qualities of your being. Take one more full breath there. And then you're going to start to press into the hands, start to lift the knees up off the floor. So getting that little hover of the knees, pressing into the hand. And then go ahead and crawl your hands all the way back towards your knees. Sitting up into a little Malasana variation. Go ahead and give yourself a little squeeze in front of the shins. If you need help to balance, you can just take your fingertips at your side and let yourself just sink into that gentle compression. Go ahead and lift up through the heart, soften the shoulders down and back. If you can grab your elbows, go ahead and grab your elbows. You're going to come right into ragdoll, so let your heels come down. Let the top of your head get real heavy as you let the hips come forward over those ankles. And then just let your torso lengthen towards the floor. So crown is drifting down. If you can shake the head no, you can shake the head yes. Take a few breaths there, just letting everything hang down. Feeling the encouragement of the gravity. Send that direction of the torso towards the floor. Taking one more full breath here. Let's go ahead and let the hands come back down to the floor. Walking the hands halfway up the mat, and then spread your feet to the corners of the back of your mat, setting up a down dog twist. On the inhale, press through the shoulder girdle and lengthen, and then on the exhale, take your right hand to the outside of your left calf. So extend through that left shoulder girdle, creating lots of stability through the left arm, keeping the weight as even as possible through the 2 feet. Take one more full breath on the exhale, switch, setting the right hand down. Right away, extend through the right arm, create that shoulder stability. Then exhale the left hand back. Gentle tugs with that left hand, even distribution through the feet. Gazing under the right armpit, gentle tugs into the twist, gazing towards the ceiling. One more full breath. On the next exhale, let that left hand come back up. Go ahead and crawl your hands up towards the top of the mat, and then roll yourself forward into your plank position. So rounding your spine, coming forward, let the knees come to the floor, and then melt your heart down into your cobra, right in between the hands. Inhale, pull your heart through, broaden the shoulders, flatten the feet. Exhale, tuck the chin, send it back down low. Inviting the ribs in, pull in from the low belly, curl the toes, send it back down dog. And then take 5 breaths here. Really finding and greeting your down dog in a way that helps you lengthen the spine. You can pedal off the feet, you can sway the heels, find that little external rotation through the shoulders, relax the neck. Take a couple breaths there, just finding that connection with the floor into your down dog. Then on your next inhale, we're going to come up to tippy toes, reach and lengthen the spine. On the exhale, bend your knees, look at your hands. You can take a big step, walk, or jump top of the mat. Once you get there, inhale, halfway lift. Just slide your hands up to the shins, reach and lengthen the spine. Exhale, take a forward fold. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Reaching and lengthening. Exhale, forward fold. And one more time. Rising up and holding here for 3 breaths. See if you can draw the belly in, tuck the tailbone, press into the shins to reach the crown out long. And then lift the toes, feel the 4 corners of your feet, evenly distributing, connecting to the floor, building the arch of the Padangana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to standing, press into the feet, reach up and lengthen, exhale your hands into heart center. And then pause and just come back to your meditation. Checking in, recentering, quieting the mind. And just feeling the space come to you with patience, honoring the body as it is. Meeting the process, meeting your time with gratitude. Take one more full breath here. Dropping into that intention of surrender and preparing for action, preparing for the direction of change for the body, the mind, the peace, the inner calmness. Go ahead and press into the feet, reach up and lengthen through the arms. On the exhale, take a forward fold. You can reach, you can prayer dive or swan dive, lengthen the spine on the fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step, walk, or jump your feet to the back of the mat. Lowering yourself all the way down into your cobra or halfway for up dog. Inhale, rise, lift up through the heart, broaden shoulders. Exhale, take it back down dog. Right away, roll it forward back into your plank position, rounding your spine, coming forward. Melting your heart all the way to the floor or going halfway for up dog. Inhale, rise, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, tuck the chin, draw the ribs in, and send it back down, dog. Take 3 full breaths here. Lengthen that spine. Just starting to move and circulate that heat. Starting to find a cadence for your breath, your body, your movement. Grounding, centering, checking in. Each time we come back to down dog, you can always take a child's pose. So listening to the body, listening to the breath, considering whatever the body and breath might be. On next inhale, coming up, tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look at your hands. Take a big step, walk or jump top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to standing, reach and lengthen. On the exhale, take that forward fold right back down. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, step your left foot back for low lunge, dropping your left knee. Inhale, rise with the arms. So reach up through that side body, really extend through the arms, try to draw the ribs in and tuck the tailbone. So trying to find that bracing of the core, stability of the spine. Reach and lengthen. On the exhale, take a prayer twist. Hands will come into prayer, left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Twisting over the heart space, lengthening through the spine. Sending that right shoulder blade towards the direction of the ceiling. And then go ahead and curl your back toes if your back toes aren't curled yet. Prepare to lift up off that back knee. Lifting and lengthening the left back, left thigh up, left heel extends back. And then on the inhale, take your hands back to heart center, open up for warrior V right side. Aligning that front heel in the middle of your back foot. Keeping those ribs in line with the legs, reach through the arms. Go ahead and turn your palms up and slide back to reverse warrior. Reach the right arm high, send it right back to a side body stretch to the back of the room. Inhale, come forward to warrior V, right into side angle Prajnakonasana. Right elbow to the right knee, left arm can reach high, or you can begin to lengthen over here. Keeping those ribs in line with the legs. Feel the 4 corners of your ribs reaching outward to lengthen the spine. So evenly lengthening out into that side body stretch. And then exhale, left hand all the way down to the inside of your right foot. Turn onto your left toes, extend your right arm towards me, reach and lengthen. Then exhale, open up that right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Keeping that left thigh reaching up to the ceiling and lengthening your left heel back. And then option to take your left knee down for a modified side plank, or just step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat for side plank. So variations of stacking the ankles, taking your left knee down. You can always float the leg if you're feeling lots of action and energy within you right now. 3 full breaths. That third exhale, take your right hand all the way back down to the floor, melting yourself down to halfway for up dog, or all the way to the floor for cobra. Inhale, rise. Exhale, tuck the chin, draw the ribs in, send it back down dog. Inhale, up to the toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look at your hands, make your way up top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Reach and lengthen. Exhale, your hands into heart center. Pause and feel it. Realign with the breath. Quiet the mind. Back to your meditation. Centered in your focus. On the next inhale, press into the feet, reach up and lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat, low lunge, left side. Inhale, rise with the arms. Pull up through the side body, extend through the arms. Ribs are slightly drawing in, tucking in the tailbone, feeling that pubic bone pull up towards the belly button. Reach through the arms. Setting up your prayer twist, hands will come in together, right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Soften the shoulders to open up the chest. Lift through the heart, draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Curling up the back toes, preparing to lift up through the back knee. Reach and lengthen the heart out, extend with the soft shoulders. Couple breaths here, finding the stability through the foundation of the legs. And then inhale your hands into heart center, open up for warrior V, left side of them. Take a breath, find your grounding, set the foundation, ribs in line with the legs, same plane. Go ahead and turn the palms up, slide back, reverse warrior. Inhale, reach it high, exhale, send it back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come forward. Side angle Prajnakonasana. Right arm reaches high, keeping those ribs slightly drawing in, tailbone stepped. Front knee stays over the ankle, beginning to reach that right arm over the ear. Press into your back foot, feel that grounding the outer edge of your right foot, and then extend out your right arm. Exhale, spiral that right hand down to the floor, turn onto the toes of your left foot, and extend your left arm towards me. Reach the right heel back, reach and lengthen through the left arm, and then open the chest. Taking your twist, lengthen through the crown, and then bring that right hip forward slightly, track your left hip slightly back. So square your hips, and then use that lengthening in the squared hips to lengthen through the heart, the torso, the spine. Whenever you're ready, setting up your side plank, so choosing your modification, right knee down, Left leg back, you can float the left leg, you can drop the left leg, you can stack the ankles or float your top leg. 3 full breaths, stay with it. On that third exhale, you're going to plant the left hand down, helping yourself down for upward facing or cobra, keeping those shoulder blades away from the ears, shoulder heads are lifted, inhale, rise with the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin, pull in through the low belly, down dog. Inhale, rise up, tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look at the hands, step, walk, or jump, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Exhale, hands into heart center. Just one mindful breath. Drop into your center. On the next inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms high, chair pose. Sit down into the heels, keep those knees behind the toes. Pull in the ribs, sit down, get low. 3 full breaths here, reach for the arms. Sit down into the heels. Invite those ribs in as you tuck the tailbone, pull up through the pubic bone and sink. Inhale, reach, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant your hands, step, walk, or jump the feet to the back of the mat. Lower down, upper facing or cobra. Inhale, rise. Exhale, tuck the chin, pull it in, down dog. Right into your right side leg lifting. Inhale, reach the right leg high. Exhale, step through for warrior A, right side. Stepping as close as you can to that right thumb, dropping your back foot at about a 45. Inhale, reach through the arms. Lengthen through the torso. Take 3 full breaths here. Really pressing into that back foot to send that left hip forward. Tailbone slightly tucked. On that third exhale, go ahead and pivot the feet right into warrior B. Back foot widens the stance. Keeping that front heel in line with the middle of your back foot or heel. Go ahead and turn those palms up, slide back, reverse warrior. Reach it high, send it back. Inhale, come forward, side angle, Parsvakonasana. You can go fingertips towards the floor as you get warm. You can keep the elbow variation on the thigh if you'd like. Extend the left arm over the ear, reach. Exhale, spiral it down to the floor. Lifting that right arm towards me, go ahead and open up the chest, moving right through that Revolve Parsvakonasana. Heart is extending outward as that left heel draws back. Reach to the crown. Go ahead and reach that right arm over the ear, then exhale, spiral it back down to a pyramid. So straighten out your right leg, long pyramid. You can lift up onto the heel, or you can keep that ball foot down. And then inhale, bend into that front knee. Go ahead and lift your heart, finding cobra with the chest. So heart, shoulder blades drop back, heart lifts. Exhale, send it back to pyramid. Do that one more time. Inhale, bend into the front knee, lift the heart. Exhale, draw back. Inhale, bending into that front knee. Gonna plant the hands and send that right leg high to open the hip. 3-legged down dog. Go ahead and open up the hip, and then your choice here. Just hold this hip opening, or you can circle out the hip a few times. Rotating it around the hip point. Try to stabilize through the shoulders, and then balance the opposite direction if you're circling. If you're holding, try to squeeze the right heel as close as you can to the glute as you open the right knee. And then your choice here, you can just externally open that hip, hold. Or you can take a foot dog, take the foot to the floor behind you, project the hips in the heart, inhale, rise. Big inhale, exhale, bow. Coming back to your 3-legged down dog, reach that right leg high. Exhale, you're gonna curl the knees close as you can to the nose and the heart space, roll it in. Inhale, extend the right leg high. Exhale, curl it in. Follow your breath, reach it up. Exhale, curl it in, step in between the hands for high lunge, crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up with the arms, reach. And right away, extend through the arms, setting up a warrior 3. So you're going to lengthen, try to keep the right knee behind the toes. So press down through the right foot, pull up through the core, through the bandhas. Reach to the arms, rise up the left leg. Trying to keep that left pinky toe pointing down at the floor. You don't have to go down parallel to the floor. You can be as up towards a 45 if you'd like. And then slowly take this down to standing splits, hands towards the floor. Softening towards the bow, letting the top of the head reach towards the floor. Exhale, let your left foot come down next to the right for chair pose. Tuck the tailbone, lift through the heart. 3 full breaths here, reach to the arms. Sit down, get low, pull in the ribs. Sit down, get low. And really find that cadence with your breath now. So you're starting to find the amount of fluidity, the flow, the energy that's moving through you, guiding that pace. On the next exhale, go ahead and come up tippy toes all the way to that Malasana variation. Give yourself a little squeeze. Go ahead and lift your heart, soft shoulders get small. And then use your hands at your side to find both lows. So take a seat, lift your feet, both lows. Got 5 full breaths.
Go ahead and lift your heart, broaden the shoulders. You can keep bent knees if you like. You can straighten the legs, or you can always recline. Try to ground it down through the low back. Draw that belly in. Listening to the needs of the breath. Rising up on that fifth inhale, go ahead and cross the feet, setting up a toe Savasana variation. So toes on the floor. You're going to go ahead and use your hands at your side. You're just going to press up and lift your seat for 3 full breaths. So using your hands, plant your hands. Take a big inhale, and on the exhale, press into the floor, lift your seat. Use your toes as much as you need to. You can float a foot. You can try to float 2 feet. And then exhale, sit down. And inhale, rise with the arms. Setting up a little twist, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, rise to the top of the head. Soft shoulders into the twist. And feel your head, your heart, your hips all in one tall straight line. Feel that lifting energy up through the spine. Inhale, rise to the arms. Exhale to the right side. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, get tall. Exhale into the twist. Head, heart, and hips. Spine all one tall straight line. Inhale, rise with the arms. Exhale, take a forward fold. Extend your heart outward. Let that heat sink you into somewhere nice and juicy for the breath, for the spine. And then come towards your stillness here. Soften into your bow. Take 5 full breaths. Let it go. Feel that direction of the inner space, inner stillness. And sense that natural inherent place of calmness and peace. Centering in that space. One more full breath here. Then you go ahead and crawl your hands towards you, slightly plant the hands towards the top of the mat, and then roll it right into your table position. Sliding the feet back, step it back into your chaturanga, lower down to the floor. Inhale, rise for upward facing or cobra. Exhale, take it back down dog. Right into the left side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, warrior A, left side. Grounding down through that back foot, rise up with the arms. Press into this right foot to bring that right hip forward. Tailbone stays tucked. Pull up through that pubic bone a little bit so you get that little posterior pelvic tilt. Reach through the arms. Extend, get long through the torso. Exhale, pivot the feet for warrior B. Back foot's going to lengthen the stance. Drop the tailbone down. Keep that right hip externally open. Go ahead and turn the palms up, slide back, reverse warrior. Inhale, rise. Exhale, come back forward. Side angle Vinyasa. Reach up through the right arm. Hold the ribs into the same plane as the legs. So you might start to feel those ribs trying to poke out in front of the legs a little bit, so you can keep that all pulling in line with that same plane as the legs. Reach that right arm over the ear and start to spiral it down towards the floor. Turn onto the toes with the back foot, extend the left arm towards me. Reach and lengthen. Exhale, open, revolving into Vinyasa. Soft shoulders, expand the chest here. Send that right heel back. Right hip's drawing forward to help you lengthen through the torso. Go ahead and start to lengthen the left arm over the ear. Reach. Exhale, spiral it down into your pyramid. Straighten out your left leg. Take a breath there. Soften in. On the next inhale, bend the knee over the ankle, and then lift the heart. Come to the fingertips. But try to find cobra through the chest. So you can imagine in this position here, open up through the heart. Exhale, straighten out that left leg for long pyramid. I'm going to follow that one more time, bend again. Lift the heart, expand through the shoulders. Exhale, go ahead and straighten up that front leg. Bending that front knee back over the ankle, plant the hands to open the hip, left leg lifts. Go ahead and send that left heel towards the glute and hold here. You can pause, stabilize the shoulders, or you can circle out that hip. Whatever you choose to do, balancing each direction. And then reversing counterclockwise. And if you chose to take the flip dog, go ahead and externally open the hip. Slowly let that foot come to the floor behind you. Project the hips and the heart. Big inhale, expand the chest. Press through that right arm. Exhale, up and out. On the inhale, we come back to your 3-legged down dog. Left leg will lift. Exhale, curl it in for the knee to nose. Inhale, send it high. Long through the shoulders. Exhale, curl it in. Get small to the chest. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, curl it in, step it in for high lunge, crescent lunge. Inhale, rise with the arms, setting up your warrior 3. Reach through the arms, extend. Keep that front knee behind the toes. So really lift those toes, feel the arches building. Send that energy out through the arms and lengthen that right leg back.
Few breaths here. Extend through the back leg. Keep that right pinky toe pointing down at the floor. Reach and lengthen. Exhale, approach your bow, standing splits. Fingertips towards the floor. Soften the torso down. Long through the top of the head. On the next exhale, bring that right foot into chair pose, right next to the left. Tuck the tailbone and rise through the heart. Soft shoulders. Go ahead and turn those pinkies in a little bit. Help you get that external rotation through the shoulders. Lift the heart, pull in the ribs and sink. Hold the ribs in. Sink, pubic bone lifts. Going right back into your goat pose. You're going to lift up tippy toes. Help yourself take a seat. You can just sit down if you can sit down. Use those hands and help yourself take a seat. Right away, you got 5 full breaths here. If you feel tired, like your breath's getting lost, then let your toes come to the floor, but keep your chest open as if you're in cobra. Heart's up, and then squeeze the knees into the midline. On that 5th inhale, we're going to rise back up. Just going to cross your right in front of your left. Savasana lift, plant your toes. Take a big inhale on the exhale, plant the hand, lift your seat. So use your toes as much as you need to, and then try to find scapular depression. Pull your shoulder blades down away from the ears, while you lift through the top of the head. On the next exhale, take a seat. Inhale, rise to the arms. Exhale, twist to the left, right hand, left knee, left hand behind you. 1 breath. Inhale, rise. Reach and lengthen. Exhale, opposite side to the right. Inhale, rise with the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Extend the heart out, let it go. Then embrace the heat, let it go. This is where you can find that inner yogi, that inner place of surrender, allowance, embracing fully what is. Welcome your practice. Welcome the moment, fully present in the now. Draw your hands back towards you. Bring it back towards you, and then go ahead and plant your hands to the top of the mat. You're going to roll right back into your plank chaturanga. Step the feet back. Lower down for upper facing warrior cobra. Inhale, rise. Exhale, take it back down, up. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot between the hands for warrior V. Roll that right left arm open, right into reverse triangle this time. So straighten out your right leg. Hug the energy of the legs towards each other and lift through the bondage. So extend that right arm high, send it back. Inhale, come forward to set up your triangle. So feel how your ribs naturally are in line with the legs. As you come forward, try to keep that same plane. Ribs stay in line with those legs. That right arm meets the leg to the level of keeping those ribs in line with the legs. Energy's lifting up through the 4 corners of the ribs, out into your extension. Left hip stays externally open, tailbone's tapped. Slowly extend that left arm over the ear, reach. Exhale, spiral the left hand down towards the floor. Go ahead and square your stance and shorten your stance to set up a revolved triangle. So the front foot usually likes to walk over a little bit, and then widen your stance as much as you need to find the feet on 2 separate planes. And then take your hands back for a moment. Display this position, jet airplane. Press into your left foot to help you bring the left hip forward. Bring the right hip back. Find that squaring of the hips, and then long spine, left hand will come down into your twist. Take your hands to the inside of that right foot, or fingertips or hands to the front of your shin, and then open the chest. And then reach to the top of the head, pull your shoulder blades away from the ears. And go ahead and start to lengthen the right arm over the ear. Reach and lengthen. Exhale, go ahead and spiral that right hand down to the floor. Soften for a bow for a moment. And then bend that front knee over the ankle. Inhale, rise with the arms. Exhale, take your hands back behind you, interlace the fingertips. You're going to expand the chest, open the heart. Big inhale, exhale, humble warrior. Taking a little forward fold, the heart bends down to the left side of your right knee. And then breathe into the back of the heart space. Take a moment here. And then turn onto the toes of your back foot. So you can keep the bind here if you like, or you can go ahead and release the bind in the hands. You're setting up your warrior three again. Put the weight in your right foot, your left leg slowly gonna lift. You've got 3 full breaths here in warrior three. Keep that left pinky toe pointing down. So you're gonna prepare to move into your revolved half moon. So your left hand's gonna come down towards the floor. And open up through that right arm. Reach and lengthen through the chest. Crown's reaching and extending forward. Take a breath here. On the exhale, set your left foot to the back of the mat, right into side plank. So left foot plants, right foot's gonna step back and follow. You can float the right leg, plant the ankles, or find your modification, left knee down. Take a few breaths here. Pull up through that left side body. Try to feel the core, everything tugging into the midline. So tailbone slightly tucked. Try to remove any arching in the back. Tuck in the tailbone. And then you're going to step your right foot all the way back up to the top of the mat. So when you're ready, bump that right foot back up, right into warrior three. Arms are going to extend forward, reach and lengthen. Left leg floats. Go ahead and slowly bring that left knee into the chest, hands into prayer. Setting up fingertips to the toes, the ankle, or maybe the calf. You come into your balancing position, finding that connection through the front foot or the leg. You're going to reach and rise through the top of the crown, lifting up through the right kneecap. When you're ready, extend through the left leg. Keep the tailbone tucked, pubic bone lifts. When you're ready, you can open the leg out to the left. Soft shoulders, stand tall through the right leg. So try not to sink into the right knee joint. Try to find lifting through the bandhas up through the knee. Preparing to move into your dancer. You can bend into that left knee. You can release the foot if you need to. And bring that foot behind you. Take your hand to the inside of that left foot. Extend through your right arm. Pull the ribs in. Keep that tailbone grounding and tucking down. Reach to the right arm. Notice how this left knee, you might want to start to open up to the left. Try to keep it right underneath the hip. And then find those two opposing energies. So reach to the right arm, kick with the left hand. And then find the balance of the two tension. Reach and lengthen. Setting up your half moon. So you're only going to go as far as you can stabilize. It's okay for the breath. When you're ready, you can prepare to release. Open up to your half moon. Let the right hand come down, extend through that left leg. And then again, try not to arch in the low back. So that means tuck the tailbone, pull that pubic bone towards the belly button. Open up through the chest. Take a breath here. And the next exhale, let the left foot come down to the back of the mat for the warrior B. And then right away, straighten your right leg, turn the toes in, reach your hands high. Exhale, hands back behind you, interlace the fingertips. Expand through the chest, open up the heart, dropping the shoulders. On the exhale, come down for a forward fold. Let it go. I'm going to hang out here for a few breaths. I'm going to give you guys an option. So you can take an inversion if you want to get upside down here. Let your hands come down to the floor. You can bring your head down to the floor, sitting with the headstand. If you know how to go there, you're just going to bring your head down, press into the hands, and start to lift the feet to your headstand. If you're not prepared and you're not wanting to invert right now, let's take a little twist. Take your left hand to the inside of your legs, and then go ahead and open up the chest. Reach the right arm high. Lengthen up through the chest. Exhale the right arm behind the back. Take that left hand to the outside of your right leg, setting up a little twist. Draw that left shoulder blade towards the right leg. And then try to keep the weight evenly through the feet. You expand by opening up the right shoulder, taking the gaze of the drishti towards the ceiling. Reach the right arm high. Exhale, down and switch. Plant that right hand down to the inside of the legs. Open up the chest, left arm lifts. Press down through that right hand. Try to create as much space between the shoulders and the ears. Exhale, the left arm behind the back. Taking that right hand to the outside of your left leg. Right into the twist to the opposite side. Opening that left shoulder blade, easing and lifting up through the heart. And see if you can bring those hips forward just a little bit, aligning with the ankles and the feet. Left arm's going to reach high. Exhale, spiral it back down to the floor. Go ahead and plant your hands down, and then turn your toes so your toes are facing away from each other. Instead of a little skandasana. So if you're going to bend into your left knee, your right leg's going to be straight. If you want to take your hands up to prayer, you're welcome to do so here. And then try to keep your bent knee behind the toes. So you might feel that bent knee come towards the toes. Keep it behind so the weight sits back on the heel. And it's come forward to the right side. Bending that right knee behind the toes, grabbing down through that right heel. And you're going to go ahead and let those hands come around towards the front of your mat. Right leg's going to lift, a three-legged down dog. And then you have the option, open the hip or take a flip dog. Right leg lifts. Send that right leg high. Exhale, take the foot to the floor, bridge up your hips. Big inhale, expand through the chest. Exhale, come out. Inhale, come back, three-legged down dog. And then take the foot towards the back of the head here. So setting up a little bit of a back bend, go ahead and lift your heart, lift your gaze. Bring your shoulder blades over the wrists. If you want to let your left knee come down to the floor, then you can let your left knee come down to the floor. Or you can exhale right into your vinyasa flow here. Let your heart come down. Inhale, rise, upward facing or cobra. Big inhale, exhale, tuck the chin, pulling the heart down up.
Go ahead and come down, take a child's pose. Let's ground that energy. Take it down. Let's find some stillness and feel. Observing the vrittis, the fluctuations of mind, the manas. So meeting the Manamaya kosha here, as you find your meditation, observing self, observing the mind, and allowing your wisdom and your insight to find perspective, perception, awareness, just by allowing being with what is. Taking a few breaths, grounding that energy, just like a gemstone, receiving, storing, emanating, or transmitting energy. So as you're moving, you're collecting, you're receiving, and then storing that energy within you, preparing to express, to emanate, to let it shine through the heart field, through your faith, through your belief, through your action. Take 2 more full grounding breaths. And then slowly curl the toes, rise back up, finding your down dog. Sending that grounding energy into your down dog. Fresh, renewed, centered. Preparing to move into that left side. Left leg's gonna lift. Exhale, warrior B, left side, step it in between the hands. Rise up for your warrior B. Go ahead and straighten out that left leg, hug the energy to the midline, pull up through the bandhas, extend it high, send it back to your triangle. Inhale, come back forward, set up your triangle. Now ribs are the same line as the legs. Right away, before you even go into it, feel that lifting of the 4 corners of the ribs. Reach and lengthen, send it all the way down into your triangle, reaching that right arm high. Grounding through your back foot, extend the right arm over the ear. Reach and lengthen that right arm. Exhale, prepare to spiral it down into revolve triangle setup. So go ahead and widen your stance, shorten your stance. Find the legs on 2 planes. Take the arms back behind you, jet airplane just for a moment. Press into the right foot, bring the right hip forward, and feel the left hip crease draw back. Extend through the heart. As that right hip crease comes forward, feel that permission, extend through the heart. Exhale, revolve your triangle, right hand towards the floor. Reach through the crown, shoulder blades pull away from the ears. Ground through that right hand, soft shoulders. Prepare to lengthen the left arm over the ear. Adhita, Pipita, Trikonasana, extend. Exhale, spiral down for a bow. Take a moment. Enjoy that softness into the back of the leg, into the hamstring for a moment. Then bend that front knee over the ankle, rise up, warrior A, left side. Inhale, rise up the arms. Exhale, take those hands back behind you. Prepare to humble the warrior. Expand the chest. Broaden the shoulders. Exhale, come down for a bow. Taking the heart down for a fold to the right side of your left knee. Soften it for a moment. See and breathe. And then curling onto the toes of your back foot. You have an option here. You can keep the bind if you'd like to, or you can remove the bind and just release out, arms at your side or hands in a prayer. Setting up your warrior 3, you can always extend your arms forward if you would like. Reach that right leg back. Right pinky toe pointing down. And if I were to come touch your back foot, pretend like you're pushing into my hand. So touching your foot, you're pushing back through that right leg and you're laying through the arms. On the next inhale, you're coming up to standing. Hands will be in prayer, right knees into the chest. Bring it high. And then now here's your option to go peace fingers to the toes, or sorry, right hand to the toes. You can go always take the ankle, or if you want to take a modification, you could just grab the front of your knee. So you could always just interlace around the front of the shin. Stand tall. Find that lifting action. So before you extend, find lift through the bandhas, squeeze the sits bones, lift up through the belly. When you're ready, extend through the leg. Soft shoulders, get tall. Finding your grounding in your center, you know where we're going, we're going to open the leg out to the side. And again, you can always modify by keeping that bent knee version. Get tall here. You're going to move into your dancer, bending the knee, the foot to the inside behind you, right hand to the inside of the right foot. Now left arm's going to reach, create the opposing energies. Left arm reaches, gets tall, right foot kicks into the hand. Finding that equal tension, right knee stays below the right hip. Slowly approaching that direction of a bow. Equal tension. Centered in the breath. Only going as far as you can meet with quality of breath. When you're ready, you're going to release the foot, open up half moon. Slowly keeping those ribs drawn in. Right hip's working towards stacking over the left hip, so that right leg is working really hard. You can float the left hand and let the fingertips come down to the floor. Take one more full breath. And then you're going to exhale that right foot towards the back of the mat. Warrior B, right side, or left side. Turn the toes in, right arm, both arms reach high. Exhale for a forward fold. Extend the hands down for a bow. Let it go. Then inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine here. So think about straight spine, reaching out long, and then exhale, forward fold. Let it go. Let the shoulder blades relax, let the head reach down towards the floor. And then press into the feet, and then try to find that space between the shoulders and the ears. So pull the shoulder blades away from the ears as you extend the crown down. Hips come forward, take a breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Then turn those toes out, spin doesn't to the right this time. So right knee stays behind the toes as you bend in. Heart stays lifted. Hands can come into prayer. You can use the support of the hands. Let's go ahead and bring it down to the front. So bending into your left knee. And then keeping that left knee in line with the toes, behind the toes, grounding into the heel. You can roll into the heel of your straight leg, or you can keep the ball grounded. You're gonna crawl those hands around that left foot, right into your flip dog, or you're opening your head, left leg lift. Extend it high, reach it up. Option, just take that hip opening, take a breath or two, or take the flip dog, foot to the floor behind you. Project your hips and heart, big inhale. Exhale, come out. Inhale, come back to your three-legged down dog. Left foot towards the back of the head, shoulder blades over the wrists. You can take the option of the right knee down to the floor. Exhale, let down for upward facing or cobra. Inhale, rise. Exhale, tuck the chin, pulling the ribs in the back down dog. Go ahead and crawl your hands back towards your feet. Walk it back. We're gonna go peace fingers to the big toes. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Put that space between the shoulder blades and the ears. And then exhale, let the elbows open up, take a little bow. And then as much as you can here, try to pull those shoulder blades up the back. Lengthen the top of the head down. Let those hips come forward. Gentle tug of the hands. Only as far as the breath can allow, the quality of breath, the connection with the prana. And then let's let it go. Bring those hands down. We're going to set up a dolphin now. So if you want to come down to your knees to set it up, you can do that. Or you can just keep your tailbone high, walk it up, and then come down to the forearms. So option, forearms down. Or go ahead and let yourself come down. Upper soft set up for table pose. Forearms come down. Get that space between the shoulder blades and the ears. Start to protract the shoulder blades. Get the shoulder blades away from one another, away from the midline. And then lift up through the knees. Send the tailbone high. And then tippy-toe those toes as close as you can towards those elbows. And only going as far as you can towards the elbows that you can maintain a long shoulder girdle. So as soon as you start to feel yourself sink into the shoulder girdle and lengthen or shorten, then allow yourself to back away for a moment. When you're ready, let's go down and take a child's pose. Let's let that energy ground and settle. It's a big pose. Big pose, right? Let the mind quiet back down. Receive. Going deep into self here. Allowing yourself to just take in the practice and embrace the direction of surrender. And storing this energy, preparing to emanate, to express with more freedom, with more lightness and expansion. Let it go. Just embracing what is. Never an expectation, not much of a destination, but just fully being on the journey, being with the self, with where you are in this moment. Take one more full grounding breath, let it go. And then finding that stillness, preparing to bring that stillness back into your practice here. And slowly come back up towards the hands. And then from there, let's go ahead, coming back up to your down dog position. Let's reach your right leg high and step the foot to the outside of your right wrist for Vinyasa. Bring that right foot to the outside of the wrist. Left foot's going to follow, finding your yogi spot Vinyasa, tucking the tailbone, lift up through the heart.
And go ahead and take your hands out in front of you. Actually, before you do so, go ahead and start to lift the tailbone up a little bit. And then making fists or pointers with your fingers, you're going to take your fingers into your hip creases, creating a little bit more hip flexion. So press into the hips, send your tailbone back. Send that hip crease as far back as you can, and then take your hands back down to the floor. And then press into the floor, bend your knees a little bit, and allow your tailbone to sink towards the floor. Press into the hands, send that little hip flexion back, take that bow, and then feel that lengthening of the glutes, the back of the legs. You can allow yourself to sink the tailbone down as far as you want to at this point. Slowly coming back down towards your malasana, letting the tailbone drop. And then you're going to allow the knees to stay open. So knees are going to open up in line with the toes. Lift the heart. Take the left hand down in front of the left foot. And then reach the right arm back. Open up the heart. Expand through the chest. Exhale, right hand down to switch. Right hand in front of the right foot. Left arm opens. Drop the tailbone. Keep those knees opening wide in line with the toes. And exhale, that left hand down. Go ahead and bring both your hands underneath your seat to the top of your feet. Just like this, wrapping underneath. And then give yourself a little forward fold, pulling down with those hands. Giving yourself a little squeeze with those legs. And then bending your knees. Go ahead and plant your hands. Your fingertips are going to point down towards your heels of your feet. And bring those hands down towards the floor. And then you're just going to pause. So maybe bringing your hands to the floor, you don't get that grounding through the heel of your hand as much as it would be to lift your feet. So just pause right here. Think about lengthening the torso. The crown's going to reach out, shoulder blades are going to pull away from those ears. Let the back of your legs and the glutes start to lengthen. If you can plant the hands and allow the heel of the hands to ground, you can go into that direction and bring the feet towards each other like this. Setting up a little wrap at the front of your legs. You can go there, or you can extend the legs out into that straight leg position. Go ahead and just give that an option. Take a breath or two, and then we're going to come right back into Savasana. So whenever you're ready, come back down. Plant the feet back down where they were. And then go ahead and bring those hands out in front of you. So we're going to set up a little crow pose variation, or you can move into the full expression. So what I like to offer for people that maybe don't have hand balance or they're working towards the hand balance position is finding that edge of your own weight into your hands while maintaining protraction of the shoulder blades. So you bring your hands down to the floor and then start to pull those shoulder blades away from the ears and round the back, getting that protraction of the shoulder blade pulling away from the center. Once you get that little rounding, let the elbows come to the inner thighs and then press into the floor. Only take as much weight as you can keep that rounding of your upper back. So you can bring it in, you can pause here, keep both of the feet down. If you want to try to lift a foot, you can lift a foot. And then if you feel like you can maintain that protraction, go ahead and lift both feet. Take 3 to 5 breaths. And then we're slowly going to let the feet come back down to the floor. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and take those hands back behind you for reverse tabletop. One at a time. And then you're going to walk those feet in to where they're underneath your knees. So move your feet underneath the knees, fingertips points at the heels, hands underneath the shoulders. Go ahead and bridge up through the hips and the heart. Squeeze the scapula together on the back. So not scapular retraction this time. And then press down through the feet evenly. Lift through the hips. Press down through the arms. Big inhale, exhale, mouth. Then send your seat behind the wrists. So straighten the legs, and then take a seat. Setting up Paschimottanasana. Flex the feet, little internal rotation through the thighs and legs. Inhale. Reach through the top of the head, soft shoulders. Let's go ahead and take our hands to our side, setting up a Dandasana first. So take your hands, feet next to your hips. Flex your feet, get that little internal rotation through the legs, and then press into the floor and lift your seat up. Just like this. Keep your heels down though. And then as you get that lift, grow your tailbone back to the floor. So extend the lower body down to the floor. As soon as the tailbone touches the floor, inhale, rise up through the arms. Lift through the upper meridians, through the body, through the torso. Extend, long straight spine, and then send it outward towards your forward fold. Reach, 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 and then pause wherever you start to round. So just for 3 breaths, maybe slide the hands back at a straight spine. Lift, soft shoulders, and feel that lifting through the bandha. So squeeze your sits bones, lift up through the Uddiyana bandha. The pubic bone pulls up towards the belly button. Lift. And then after about 3 to 5 breaths, when you want to find that full expression, go ahead and round back, fold it in. And we'll just stay here for about 10 full breaths.
this way, just fully come back into the acclimation of your meditation, where you gather, center, and organize the experience into a still point. Bring this right foot to the outside of your left leg. So we're going to set up this seated twist here. Sometimes it's hard to find a sense of grounding when we bend our second leg in. So we can go here, but if I bend my other leg in, sometimes I find uneven connection with the floor, especially if I'm not using a prop. So if you don't feel as evenly connected to the floor, then go ahead and keep your left leg straight. It's easier to find that sense of grounding. So that's an option for you, however you're feeling in this moment. And wherever you like to decide, leg straight or bending in, you're going to prepare to inhale and rise up the arms. So lift up through the arms, find that lengthening, the head, the heart, and the hips, reach and lengthen. Exhale to the right side. So this left arm can hug the front of your shin, or it can reach around the right leg, coming into that twist. Try to ground to the right part of your seat, feeling that lifting action with the shoulder blades and melt down the back. One more full breath. And then on the next exhale, go ahead and de-rotate all the way to the left. So take your hands to the outside of your left hip and then melt your heart to the floor. Touch the floor with your heart and then take a breath. Give your spine that moment to just acclimate, reset. And then inhale, rise back up. And we're going to set up a little firewalk here. So you're already kind of set up for it. Just bring your left leg forward a little bit. If your left leg was straight, you're going to bend it in this time. So bending this left leg in, you're going to stack the right leg on top of your left leg, just like this, setting up your double pigeon. And this might be a lot of sensation, lots of hip opening here. So we can just sit up and you can just be with this. We'll take 10 full breaths. But if you want to take a forward fold, we're going to move into that direction of a forward fold. So flex your right foot, make sure it's right on top of the left thigh. So not kind of overpassing the left thigh, but right on top. And you're going to inhale, rise with the arms, reach. Exhale, forward fold. There you go. And then I'm going to offer a modification too. If you're feeling like that's a little uncomfortable, then take your left foot to the floor and just bring that right foot on top of the left thigh and meet this position here. You know, slide that foot in and bring your seat in towards the heel. So anything like this is a good modification. And you can always recline too if you want to take this towards a recline. Slide all the way to the floor. Taking your last few breaths. And preparing to walk those hands back. Slowly going to bring those hands all the way behind you. And then you're going to plant the feet and just windshield wipe those legs. So plant the feet, let them sway to the right, sway to the left. Just give yourself a moment to allow those hips to receive, reorganize. And then go ahead and come back to your Paschimottanasana, leg extended. I'm going to bring that left foot to the outside of your right leg. So here we are, sitting up tall, aligning here, or even if you balanced or you brought your straight leg in last time, and doing so on this side. And I didn't say this last time too, but if you feel like your front foot is lifting off the floor quite a bit and it's hard to find a sense of grounding, then let it come forward just a little bit so you can find that sense of grounding through your left foot. Feel that connection through your seat. When you're ready, inhale, rise with the arms. Reach and lengthen. Exhale into that twist of the left. So the option was front of the shin with the right arm, or to the outside, lengthening, being a little bit deeper into the twist with the help of that right arm. Just use that hand behind you to help you lift and support that tall, straight spine.
last full breath. And preparing to de-rotate to the right on the exhale. Taking those hands all the way up to the outside of your right hip, melting the heart down to the floor. Take a full breath, reset. Give your spine that moment. And then coming up, setting up your fire log or double pigeon opposite side. So right leg's gonna come down to square up at the front of your mat. So alignment nice and parallel. Left foot flexes on top of the right thigh, aligning your left knee right near the top of that right foot. And again, this might be plenty, and this is quite a big hip opening, so this could be a lot of sensation. So consider modifying if that's uncomfortable. Plant your right foot down and come into this position here. Otherwise, inhale, rise with the arms, preparing your forward fold, reach and lengthen, and then on the exhale, extending outward with a long, straight spine, heart reaches towards the floor, reaching out, softly taking your bow. Last couple breaths. Beginning to walk those hands back towards you. And then keep walking those hands back. Getting up kind of feet. Little windshield wiper of the legs. Just give yourself that moment to reset the hips. And then go ahead and extend your legs out in front of you, sitting up for Savasana. And this is the fingertips pointing at the tailbone. The hands are going to be a little bit behind the hips here. So try to extend the toes forward like you're going to touch the floor. And then you're going to extend the hips up and open the throat. Squeeze the scapula together on the back. Really press and lengthen through the shoulder girdle of the arms. Reach those hips. Try to push the floor with the toes, lengthening the front line of the legs. 2 more full breaths here. Press through those hands. On the second exhale, bend your knees and come sit as close as you can to the heels. All the way up. And one more final boat pose. Lift those feet. You got 5 full breaths. You can do it. Last one. Lift the heart. Widen those shoulders out. Any variations, the toes can be resting if you're feeling the breath needs it. You can always straighten the legs, and again, you can always recline if you feel like you want a little bit more work to do. On the 5th inhale, go ahead and bend your knees. Peace fingers to the big toes. We're going to go reach up to those legs. If that's not happening, you got ankles or calves. Anything in between. You can just support through the back of the legs. And then you're going towards that straddle. So when you're ready, keep that lift of the heart. Open up through the legs. Heart stays lifted. Lift up through the bottom, soft shoulders. Lots of balance here. And then you're prepared to release the feet, but keep the feet up. So release, feet stay up, and then start to reach to the arms. Extend high, let the feet come to the floor. Keep reaching, reach, 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 reach. And then let the heart come towards your forward fold. Let go. All the way down. And just drop into where you're at here. Practicing the meditation, so observing the fluctuations of mind, being the bystander to the experience, fighting for the change just by being present to what is. It's the balance of surrender and action through the expression of your asana, just being with what is, surrendering. Maintaining your focus is where your action is. Disciplined in your surrender.
Last couple breaths. You're slowly going to make your way back out, crawling your hands towards you. And you're just going to plant your feet on the floor and come yourself down to your back from here. You can just reach through your arms and slowly lower vertebrae by vertebrae. Or you can help yourself to the back of your thighs, helping yourself down. Go ahead and set up a bridge pose. Go ahead and slide those feet underneath the knees. Keeping those knees in line with the hips. And then when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and lift the toes, find those four corners of your feet. And then press down through those feet nice and evenly, start to lift up through the hips. You can let your hands and arms be where they are, but if you want to go in a little bit deeper, shimmy your shoulder blades towards your midline, towards the center of your spine. And then maybe interlace the hands underneath you. And you can start to squeeze the heel of your hands towards one another and keep that gentle squeeze of the knees towards the midline, aligning the knees with the hips. And then try to press down through the feet evenly as possible. So you might feel a little bit more weight in the heel of your feet. See if you can press down through the ball of your foot, just as equal to the heel. And after about 5 to 10 breaths, anything in between, give your spine a moment, go and just come back down to the floor. Just receive, give yourself a pause to reset. Take in your practice. And we'll just take one more back bend. If you want to go into a deeper variation, you can just move into a deeper variation of your bridge. So maybe interlace this time if you did it the first time. But if you want to go even deeper, then you're welcome to prepare a full wheel pose. So I'll let you go into your bridge if you want to do that. If you want to see a full wheel, or just hear cues for that, I'm going to point my fingertips at the shoulder blades. Then I'm going to press into my feet first and lift my hips. So it's just like I'm in my bridge. Keeping those knees in line with my hips, lifting up through the hips first. And then I'm sort of press into my hands and start to extend through my arms. I can use the arms and extend through the hands to start to help myself lift my chest. And then going towards as close as I can with straight arms. Pressing down through them evenly. And then I can maybe walk my feet towards me just a little bit if I want to come in a little bit deeper and I'm comfortable. Otherwise, I'm only going as far as I can connect with my breath. My body allows. And then taking anywhere between 3 to 10 breaths. If you want to go a little bit longer, you're welcome to do so, but coming down when you feel the breath of the body is needing that moment to break. Welcome yourself gently back to the floor. As you meet the floor, take a moment, take a pause, let it go, and then we'll carefully bring those knees into the chest, giving your spine that moment to just reset. Taking them in, carefully allowing the back to feel that opposite direction of the back bend. And then we'll set up a cloud pose or modification. So go ahead and straighten out your legs, and then just grab the back of your thighs, pulling in the thighs towards you. So this can be your modification. If you want to go in a little bit deeper, you can connect the hands, or you can reach around and grab the forearms or the elbows, and just squeeze the legs in towards you. Try to find that grounding of your tailbone towards the floor. So the tailbone starts to lift, try to pull the tailbone down towards the floor as you squeeze the legs towards you. And then if you want to go in a little bit deeper from there, go ahead and let your hands come down to the floor, and then send energy through the legs. So lots of activity through the legs, and then slowly start to approach the feet behind you overhead, extending, pressing down through the hands and arms, reaching back, keeping a long neck, so chin stays slightly lifted, extend through the top of the head, and then subtle internal rotation through the thighs as you extend through the legs. Press down through the hands. Keep that long neck as you approach the feet towards the floor. And then we'll go ahead and take the hands to the middle of the back, and then shimmy your shoulder blades underneath you to set up a shoulder stand. So your hands point, the fingertips point at the tailbone, shimmy and wiggle those shoulders underneath you to set up a little tripod at the elbows, and then bring the feet over the hips as close as you can to that direction. Extending up through the legs, and then any leg variations you'd like to do here. You can just take a straddle, you can twist through the legs, it helps you get into the spine. If you want to take a half lotus, you can take the foot to the thigh, getting into a little bit of hip opening. You can take the full lotus, letting that left foot come in front of the right, if that's within your practice. Anything between Vinyasa, and the feet together, knees wide. Or you can just keep that extension, lengthen the lumbar up to the ceiling, but keep pressing the tailbone high to center the legs. And when you're ready, taking one more top pose, taking the feet back overhead, reaching back towards the floor. And then you can go ahead and open up the arms, preparing your snail pose. Knees are going towards the ears. As the feet meet the floor, you're slowly going to approach your happy baby. So you're just going to allow the vertebrae to roll down to the floor. You can take your hands towards the feet as you help yourself roll down to the back. Those ankles are lined over the knees, and the knees gently feel the encouragement with the tug of the hands towards the floor. Grounding down through the sacrum, so slowly soften those ribs down. You feel the chest or the rib cage start to open up. See if you can invite the ribs down towards the floor. Pulling them down a little bit, feeling that grounding direction of the tailbone or the sacrum towards the floor. And then again, the shoulder blades pull away from the ears as you tuck the chin. The cervical spine, the back of the neck extends outwards to the top of the head. Taking your last few breaths here. Anything you want to do, you can sway, you can extend the legs out to the sides. Just grounding, feeling that descent of your practice. And then allow the left leg to come down to the floor, plant the foot down. Cross the right leg all the way over the left leg. Taking one more final twist, go ahead and open up the arms like a T, and allow the legs lower to the floor on the left side, taking your gaze towards your right arm. And expand into the lower diaphragm. Just meeting what is here. Fully with your meditation. Embracing each facet of your tension, reading it with the harmony of the cadence of your breath. Last couple breaths. And then we'll slowly come back to the back. And then go ahead and bring your knees into the chest just for a moment. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then exhale that right foot to the floor, crossing your left leg over your right leg. Opening those arms up. And then taking the twist to the opposite side, to the floor on the right side. Turning your gaze towards your left arm. And soften the ribs. Relax the shoulders. Expand into the low belly. Through each inhale, you'll feel that expansion of the pelvic girdle, which drops your pelvic floor. If you don't feel the pelvic floor expanding and dropping subtly, there's usually a minor contraction, or there's somewhere that's clogging that natural capacity of your inhale. So see if you can relax in the chest, the face, and let that breath just expand naturally through you. More of an allowance rather than effort. Your final couple of breaths here. Whenever you feel ready to do so, just preparing to come into your final resting position, Savasana. If anything else is calling to you to close your practice, if you feel that inner guide or teacher asking for something, the body, and at your leisure, at your discretion, anything that you might be calling to close. Take yourself into that direction. Otherwise, removing and extending out the legs, the arms, taking up as much space here as you would like to move into full stillness, full acclimation of the practice, letting everything go. Just releasing any control, relaxing the face. Just giving yourself permission to release any efforts. Relax the shoulders, feeling that support on the floor beneath you, holding up your arms. And the freedom of the heart, the safety and the vulnerability of the belly, the support of the hips. And just relaxing the legs, letting the ankles or knees externally just rest. Be open, supported. The key word is just dissolve, allowing the energies to move through you, to transcend any tension, any energy that's not serving your intentions, it's not serving your stillness. So that's the pose implies, resting as a corpse, composting anything that doesn't serve your fruition. pranayama, just still resting there in Savasana. And take a big inhale and bring your breath to the top of the inhale. And at the top, come into a brief retention and hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, let it go. And same thing like that. Inhale back and bring all the breath into the top of the inhale. And find retention and hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, take it down. One more like that. Inhale back to the top. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, let it go. And we go ahead and switch the retention to the bottom of the exhale. Take the breath to clear. Take an inhale, exhale to reset. Let that exhale go. And on your next breath, inhale up. Take that natural inhale in, and then exhale and clear. Force everything out. Find the bottom and come to retention and hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale back to the top. Natural breath in. Exhale back to the bottom. Force it out. Empty and hold. Retention for 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale back to the top. And take that exhale back to the bottom. Clear and empty. Find the bottom. Retention and hold for 3, 2, 1. Take a big breath. Inhale in. Exhale out. Let it go. And we'll put a retention on the inhale and the exhale. Inhale back to the top. And holding for 3, 2, 1. Exhale to the bottom. Clear and empty. At the bottom and hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale to the top. Find the top and hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale to the bottom. Clear and empty. Find retention and hold for 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale to the top. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale to the bottom. Find retention and hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale back to the top. And then squeeze everything in that you can and hold, and then take 3 more little sips. Pull everything in. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. Just feel it. The inner peace, the inner calmness that naturally always is. Through the state of mind, through the creation of your observation, your breath, your body, your attention, and intention of your presence. Feeling the empowerment of your focus, the empowerment of this innate place that exists within all of us. And anytime you can pause and drop in. And with that, offering some gratitude and some encouragement each time you practice. Slowly finding little bits of movements, preparing to reanimate, reawaken, physically coming back to the body, coming back to the day, the evening, preparing to bring the practice into your life, into your evening, as you slowly bring that state of mind back into your day. Little by little, when you'd like to extend those arms up overhead, reach the legs out towards me, take that long body stretch. And then one more big final hug to yourself. Bring the knees to the chest, give yourself a big squeeze. Thank you, thank you, thank you to yourself every single time you practice. And then taking the fetal pose to the floor, taking a few breaths, just grounding your practice, centering, and preparing a whole space for the rest of your evening, bringing this reminder, this connection this essence into who you are, how you are, what you emanate, and how you share in your realm. Slowly making your way up to your seat. Preparing to close, just keeping your eyes closed, bringing your hands to the heart center as you find your seat. So dropping into that place of surrender and observation, of feeling the empowerment of what you can change. Feeling these crazy times of the unknown, challenging our faith, our trust, our ability of being in the mindfulness of self, of others, of our community. So finding that balance of what you can surrender to, what we can't change, what is out of your control, but feeling what you can, the effort of health, wellness, positivity, bringing the space of connection to emanate, to share to our community, to our realm of ourselves. Let's go ahead and close with a single sound of Om. Let's take an inhale, exhale collectively first. Let's inhale together. Go ahead and exhale to mouth. Inhale together, exhale to mouth. And inhale together, closing with Om. Big inhale. Washing away anything that doesn't serve your space, your evolution, your intentions. Bowing to the eternal light, each you all, thank you for being here, sharing your time, your breath, your presence, reminding me, sharing with us. We share this one essence and one source. Namaste.
Namaste.